computer. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Gathering of Old Men. This is episode 4. Boy, it's been an interesting week. From housekeeping. The NFL has a Super Bowl going on soon. And as in every year, the NBA likes to trump them. But we'll get to the NBA news later because that's the good stuff. We'll get to the simple stuff. Roger Goodell, your homeboy, came out and said that the NFL must do better when it comes to hiring minority coaches, and even so much so went a deep dive into how they contract with minority vendors, how they go about finding minority executives, and that came directly from one of their in-house media staff about getting executives or getting media members hired, because he was, like always, one of the few that was in that department. So it got kind of sketchy for him, but I give Roger Goodell credit for a man who is paid $63 million by the NFL owners. You know, he held his own. He did what he, pretty much was supposed to do, but it don't look good for the NFL right now.
All we ask is that he do something, because just sitting and letting what they say the inmates run the asylum is not going to get anything done. You the commissioner, like, do your job, do something, because sitting down and not doing nothing, you're part of the problem.
And so let's acknowledge that the Miami Dolphins hired a minority coach. We'll acknowledge that. We'll also acknowledge that minority coach is not the issue. We are complaining about Black coaches being hired. This coach was pushed out as a minority coach who is biracial. Couple things. That was not the problem. You're solving a problem we didn't ask for. The New York Jets have a minority coach. That's not the problem. The problem is that there are Black coaches who aren't being hired. That's the problem. And so with that problem, it's a simple solution. Find good, non-recycled coaching candidates, i.e. Houston Texans, because we know what that is. You know what the lick read. They're going to put that man in there. They're going to suck, and they're going to fire him. And then they're going to bring in Josh McCown. Like, oh, we needed him the whole time. No, he didn't. That man ain't never coached.
Lovie Smith will surprise you. That's one thing I will say. He took on a horrible Bears team, and he got them to the playoffs. He changed their franchise. They had been losing.
Yeah. Listen, anybody that takes Rex Grossman to a Super
Bowl,
I give him so much credit.
He gets my vote.
But he was already on the staff. Let's acknowledge that he was already on the staff, and it was a kind of like, it feel like, even if that's not the case, which is why optics are everything, it feels like, we got to do something, because we can't just fire this Black coach and then go get Josh McCown, and it ain't gonna look good. It's gonna look like we tanked, and now we hired a white
Josh
coach.
McCown play for him?
I think Josh McCown did play for him. Josh McCown played for everybody.
He was Jay Cutler's backup.
So
that was Jay Cutler's backup.
Man, this just gets so bad.
So we coming full circle. Okay.
Yeah, NFL. And I told the mother of my son that I was going to start this off. The reason that African Americans, Blacks, have an issue with your hiring practices is because if you visualize it, you can be. So if I can show my son that there is a Black NFL coach, kind of like how there was Obama, now the possibility is real. It's cemented. It's not a dream. Everybody's Black History Month, so I'm going to go ahead and get into this. Everybody likes to tell us about how Martin Luther King had a dream. At some point, your dreams must be visualized and become a reality. And so giving me a multiracial coach who, as far as I'm seeing, I'm looking, he has not said, hey, I'm biracial. That has been pushed onto us, which makes it offensive. And I have nothing against this dude. I know nothing about him. The only thing I've heard was he was not a play caller. So if he's not a play caller, and we're giving Eric Bieniemy scrutiny because he wasn't calling plays all the time, we just had a dude that wasn't calling plays. Seems like we just moved the goalposts. But that's just me. It's just me.
Can I play devil's advocate for a second?
Oh, go ahead.
You say, so he said he had a dream. You wake up from dreams. I think a better term would have been a vision. I understand it's iconic, but a dream is just a dream. We have dreams every night. You wake up from them. They're not real. You need something you can touch, something you can see, something that's actual change. And that's what the NFL needs. We can have dreams all day, but until there's action that accompanies that dream, that's all there will ever be. We can sit here and talk until we turn blue in the face, but until action starts to happen, you're just gonna wake up from it and we're gonna have a league full of white coaches tomorrow. Like, that's just the reality of it. And with the same black coaches that we've seen forever, like you said, Lovie Smith, recycle. Mike Tomlin has been on the hot seat every year. They have not won a Super Bowl. If they didn't win a Super Bowl, he on the hot seat. I don't care if they won 13 games, 15-1, like, it don't matter. If Mike Tomlin doesn't win a Super Bowl in Pittsburgh, he's on the hot seat. So I'm really interested in see what they're going to do without Ben Roethlisberger next year, because he's been there Mike Tomlin's entire career.
You know what?
So we're going to find out.
This is going to sound crazy, but I'm going to say it. The fact that Mike Tomlin has reached the status of, if he don't win a Super Bowl, he on the hot seat, that's progress. It ain't if he don't win 3 games. It ain't if he don't get the star quarterback to come to the team. Like,
how was that progress, though?
It's progress in that there's an expectations of the black coach to win.
Is everybody
the Super Bowl.
standard the same? Is everybody standard the same?
No, he's a different standard. And then it gets into my whole Deion and Florida State thing. There are some coaches who white people don't see as black. They see them different. Like, I tell people all the time, Deion can come to Florida State because the white people at Florida State don't see Deion as black. They see Deion as Deion. Pittsburgh fans don't see. Yeah, Pittsburgh fans don't see their coach as a black coach. They see their coach as a coach who just happens to be black. And so that's a different standard. Now, outside of Pittsburgh, I'm sure they're like, oh, Pittsburgh black coach and rah, 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 and all this other stuff. But in Pittsburgh, they know they got a winning coach. They support their winning coach. The management support their winning coach. And that's why you don't get all the uproar to fire the black coach. I remember when Raheem Morris was the coach of the Bucks. And they lose a couple games. They was ready to get rid of him. And I'm like, come on, man.
But then you also have to look at, was that a well-coached team? Why did they lose those games? Did they lose because of coaching, or did they lose because of a lack of talent? If you're looking at your team and your team is full of talent and you are losing games, who's next to blame? If the players ain't the ones, you're going to blame the coach. So a lot of times when you hire a new coach, you are in rebuild mode because you just lost so bad that you decided to fire the captain of the team.
Yeah.
So you bring in a new person, you put them in a not so great situation, and you basically trying to get gold from straw.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't.
Yeah, and again, you know, I've gotten to the point in my life that I realized that this ain't all Roger Goodell. Like, Roger Goodell can come up with all the policies in the world. It is up to ownership to change this narrative.
It is.
But we'll move on to some more spicy news because we kind of missed it because of the way our podcast land. The Washington Commanders owner, that don't even sound right, but whatever. The Washington Commanders owner, Dan Snyder, while he was getting ready to testify in front of Congress, Had a young lady say, well, maybe she's not young, but had a lady say that he sexually harassed her at a dinner. And had it not been for his attorney, he would have pushed her into his limo. And then, wait for it. Wait, this is the best part.
Oh.
He said, we're going to investigate. The Washington Commanders are going to investigate the owner of the Washington Commanders to make sure there was no hanky-panky going on.
How, if conflict of interest was a person, it is Dan Snyder. Please explain to me how, if I'm accused of something, I'm going to hire somebody to investigate it for me, for them. On no planet does that make sense.
I got a better scenario. At a company I used to work for, I was a new guy. So a company I used to work for, new programmer come in, and the marketing department that I'm going to work with on a regular basis was like, hey, welcome to the company. I know this isn't your department, but we're going to be sending you the bulk of the work, blah, blah, blah. At lunchtime, we're going to take you to work. So the head of that department got called into a meeting. So his number two, which did all the graphics and everything, she's like, cool, I'm going to take you to this little Cuban restaurant. We're going to get this Cuban sandwich and we'll come on back. So we went to lunch and come back. TP, when I tell you the next day, HR had an email for me to come down to HR. I had to have a discussion on why I went to lunch with that young lady.
With a coworker.
We went gone 15 minutes and I come back. And they gave me the rules. This man went to lunch.
White?
No, she was Puerto Rican, but she was fairer skinned Puerto Rican. So, there was that. So
there was some jealousy in the HR office.
Oh, absolutely. But I'm
mad because they didn't go to lunch with her. They was mad because they didn't go to lunch with her.
It wasn't even
called a spade a spade.
I show up and I'm not even on that energy. I'm like, dude, I just need to look at y'all code. And they wouldn't let me look at the code for 2 days or whatever. So I'm like, dude, nothing's going on. And they're like, okay, well, we've had some problems in the past. We're gonna make sure that you don't fall into those pitfalls and blah, blah, blah. This man put his hands on this woman's thigh. Anywhere else, you end up getting sent on your way, but not this guy. And the NFL did say that they were going to go ahead and investigate these allegations. This lady was in front of Congress. There is nothing to investigate. She gave you all the information in front of Congress. What else you want? I remember when the Carolina Panthers owner was a racist and he lost his franchise. So
when I hear them say we're going to investigate, the only thing I'm thinking about is they're investigating a way to get out of it or to minimize the damage caused. Can we pay this lady off so she'll say it wasn't that serious? Like, were there any witnesses? Is there somebody we can discount because that can throw the whole case out? That's what they mean when they say they're going to investigate, because the issue already happened. So what are we looking at? No, you're just trying to find a way out of it. And an organization investigating themselves is immoral, it's a conflict of interest, and it's wrong. And there's no justice to be found in that situation.
And again, like it's starting to be rich guy problems. Like y'all not gonna do nothing. He got enough money to make it go away. And maybe I'm saying that to challenge the NFL to actually do something, because y'all just don't do nothing. But it's just rich guy problems. They ain't gonna do that. They're just gonna let him do what he want. I don't know. But so what about your boy Jonathan Allen? Did you hear about this one?
I did not. I did not.
Jonathan Allen, and I don't know the context, and the context don't even matter. Say he wanted to have dinner with Hitler.
With who?
Hitler. So, full disclosure, y'all.
Did
I'm
he
an
say?
African American
Did he
man.
say why? Did he say why?
I didn't know. He didn't get into the details. It went from
He
I would like to
cannot
have.
be. He cannot be an educated man if he said that.
Yeah, he went from I want to have dinner with Hitler to I didn't understand and blah blah blah, ask forgiveness and all of that. And this story is more about me than anything else, because white people, I'm gonna bring you into a little secret area that you don't know. There are some things that happen in the world that black people go, please don't let him be black. Please don't let him be black. Please don't let him be black. This was one of those cases for me. And whether he was white, black, Puerto Rican, or whatever, it would have been a wrong statement. But for me as a black man, I needed him not to be black. For that franchise, I needed him not to be black. All the history that has gone on with Hitler, I needed him not to be black. So when I Googled Jonathan Allen, and based on his position, I kind of had an idea that he was black. And I was just like, please don't let him be black.
Yeah, he's a defensive tackle.
Yep. I was like, oh, Jesus.
Who plays for an organization who had to change their name because genocide. The two times that we can, that's documented in the history books in the last 200 years, 300 years, two genocides we know of is what Europeans did to the Native Americans here and what happened to the Jews all across Europe. There are so many documentaries on World War II and the genocide of the Jews. It would break your heart if you sat there and watched all of them. Like I have. I've watched and I've read, and I was a history major. I like to learn history because I always feel like if you don't learn from history, you're bound to repeat it. And for him to say that dumbass comment, like I can't call it nothing else.
I was just like, oh man.
You're dead wrong, Jonathan Allen. You need to go read a history book.
That this story, because of everything that went on this week, he got a pass this week. That story flew under the radar based on everything else that was going on this week.
And that's bad. We got folks hitting people. We got lawsuits. The NFL is wilding right now, and this is Super Bowl week. So what are we doing? We can't even focus on the Super Bowl because there's so much other bullshit going on outside of it. Oh, it's because Tom Brady ain't in the Super Bowl, so we ain't really focused on the Super Bowl because if Tom Brady was in there, that's all you would hear is Tom Brady this. He's 40-some years old. He's in another Super Bowl. But since we don't have Tom Brady, we get Jonathan Allen talking about he want to have dinner with Hitler. You get Alvin Kamara punching people. You got lawsuits. It's a lot of other stuff going on that's making it more headline than the actual Super Bowl.
As a Raiders fan, can we move back to Oakland? Can you know what? Let's just move back to LA because ain't nobody going to the Rams games. Let's just move back to LA. Like this didn't work. Like we need to be adults and we need to just go ahead and admit Vegas did not work for us. It didn't work. Like we have our first Pro Bowl.
Rams games.
They had more San Francisco 49er fans at the championship game than they had Rams fans. I don't know. Somebody told me that LA is a Raiders town. That's what somebody told me. That's what somebody told me. I ain't want to start no rumors, but
it is.
I heard LA was a Rams town. I mean, a Raiders town.
It kind of is. I used to live in LA, and you definitely seen a lot of Raiders. You're not gonna see no Chargers, no Rams. Like one of my best friends, he became a Rams fan because that was, that's now the hometown team. But before that, he didn't really like the Rams. Hell, Rams fans didn't like the Rams after Kurt Warner left.
Man,
They was good for
it,
about 5 years, and that's when you had a bunch of Rams fans, and then after that, they disappeared. Like that meme of Homer Simpson sliding back into the bushes. That was
yeah.
Rams fans after Kurt Warner left.
Well, there was another All-Star game. The NHL had their All-Star game in Vegas, and there are rumors going around, and we'll follow it, that may have been a super spreader event. So we will check back in later on that story. But I guess we can go ahead and get to the NBA and get to the blockbuster, the absolute blockbuster. The New Jersey, or I keep calling them New Jersey, the Brooklyn Nets traded James Harden for Ben Simmons,
a bag of
Seth
chips.
Curry. Well, they got Seth Curry, Ben Simmons, Andre Drummond, and 2 first-round draft picks. Basically, what they did was they got back half of them draft picks that they sent to Houston. They got half of them back. It's basically what they did. I just want everybody to know that nobody won this trade. Like everybody's like, oh, who won it? Nobody won the trade. The Sixers are going to have to deal with a $40 million contract somewhere around the $40 million area at 38 years old, James Harden, a man who does not stay in shape.
He's not 38
now.
He's not 38.
Oh no, when he signs that contract extension this summer, that's going to be a supermax. At the end of that, towards I think the middle of that contract, he's going to be 38 years old, making $40 million.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, there go Marlo there.
I thought I seen something clicking up at the top.
Yeah, he's coming in. We're gonna have a good time talking about his homeboy Tubby Tubby. And I don't care about y'all being in the comments talking about I'm fat shaming. He ain't never been in shape.
Who are you talking about?
James Harden, Mr. I'm gonna go to the club and work out, hanging out with Lemon Pepper Lou.
Well, I go to the club too if I can get what I want.
And there you have it.
I want to
the strippers down here in Houston love James Harden. He's coming there throwing bands. You hear me? I'm talking 20, 30 G's in a night.
Yeah.
He putting kids through college that he ain't even met yet.
Yeah. Because he has a whole lot of disposable income making $40 million a year.
Right.
It's that oh man, that I mean, so let's look at the trade.
Do we think Ben Simmons is a good fit for the Brooklyn Nets?
Is he gonna show up?
He's a facilitator who can't shoot, but he has Kevin Durant to pass to. But Kevin Durant can't pass him back the ball, so once he passes it, it's gone.
Yeah.
You know. So what's the dynamic of that offense is going to be?
The dynamic is next year they get a first-round pick.
Yeah.
Right.
There's that part. Because they're going to need a scorer. Because Ben Simmons is not a scorer.
Well, you got a shooter in Steph.
All right, hold on. Let's think about this for a minute.
And I mean the 76ers, they don't have a good track record on draft picks. So I mean they really didn't need the shit anyway. Might as well get James Harden, you know. Y'all can't
hold on. Wait.
Pull your head out your ass and get a good draft pick. Just trade him away.
So nobody's gonna acknowledge the fact that Doc Rivers traded away his son-in-law. We just gonna leave that out.
Wait a minute.
Somebody had to go.
Son-in-law.
Yes.
His son-in-law.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Thanksgiving gonna be awkward.
No, it ain't. Doc probably ain't have nothing to do with that deal. They say
Doc Rivers.
As a family, they probably have close to $1 billion. That they don't care.
Yeah,
it's just business at that point. I don't think that anybody was that partial to, the team or anything like that. I think it was a business decision, and yeah, they gonna eat good. They sitting on bands. They don't care.
Well, the one thing he can't do is complain.
They sitting on more than bands.
Well, I'm just saying though, Seth can't complain.
Lots of bands.
Doc traded his own son, so Seth can't complain.
Yeah,
Doc traded Austin Rivers to the Rockets.
You thought you were special because you married my daughter? I trade you too.
He don't care.
Man, y'all forget. Doc at one point was the highest paid NBA coach in the league. Yeah.
And he deserved it. He earned every dollar.
Let's not act like Seth Curry was an elite all-star. This man has been on 20 teams already. Look. He done played for every team in the Western Conference.
But
and a couple teams in the East.
In his defense, he got buckets everywhere he went.
But that's all he does. He plays zero defense.
Well,
he's not a good ball player. He's a medium stature. On the floor. He's a role player.
Yeah.
He's a role player and an above average shooter. He can shoot the lights out. He comes from a family of shooters.
None of these trades make either one of these teams better than the Bucks.
Actually, Philly was
Does it make them better than what they were before the trade, though? If you look at the 76ers, they were getting absolutely zero value from Ben Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
So by trading him and bringing in somebody who's made the All-Star every year for the past 7 years, you can't tell me that they didn't get somewhat better. Are they enough to beat the Bucks? No. Fuck no. They ain't got nobody to hold Giannis. They gonna struggle.
Well,
but it ain't just the Bucks. We have the Miami Heat to worry about too.
And Chicago.
I've been saying for a while now that Miami Heat team, they scare me because they can play defense, like real defense.
Don't nobody want to play Miami in the playoffs?
A healthy Miami team is head and shoulders different than any other team in the East.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Don't nobody want to see them in the playoffs, I'm telling you. Because they are gonna scrap. It's gonna be physical, and they're gonna wear you down. And if you're not conditioned after playing 82 games and you got to see Miami in the playoffs, you're gonna have a long day, a long series.
And on top of all of that, you got a hero who think he's Ginobili.
He's shooting the lights out.
With game to back it up.
I like that man squad. They long, they're active, they are very athletic, and they can get after you on defense. That sounds just like that team.
And let's not forget, they was probably 1 or 2 plays away from being in the finals last year.
Yeah.
They should have beat the Bucks, if you ask me.
Yeah. I think they should have. And if we look at the last 3 years, they've been in the finals. They went to conference championships. And now they are one of the best teams in the East. Like, can we just go ahead and say Eric Spoelstra is a damn good coach now?
First of all, y'all gonna act like Mr. Riley ain't there.
I ain't doing that. We ain't talking about Mr. Riley. We ain't got no problems with Pat Riley. None at all. Like, I enjoy my podcast. I don't want to see my shit off there.
We got no problems. We don't have no problems with Pat Riley, but what I'm trying to say is you talking about Spoelstra. Riley is the oil that make the engine run.
I agree.
People are them damn
I agree.
People want to give LeBron credit.
Eric Spoelstra might put a Yeah.
No, I'm saying people want to give LeBron James credit for putting that Miami Heat team together that went and won a couple championships. No, that was Pat Riley. If Pat Riley was not the general manager, the one making the decisions in Miami, they don't get Chris Bosh. LeBron might not go there. That dynasty never happens.
Man, I'm gonna say this. If you want to know the power of Pat Riley, a few years ago, Pat Riley tried to get Kyle Lowry on the Miami Heat. And I bet you money, I will put money on it. Pat called up there, called Uzzieri and said, look, either you trade him to me or you don't trade him to nobody else. And that's that. And he ain't trade him to nobody else. Come on, man. Pat is different, man. Pat is different.
Kyle Lowry playing for Boston right now.
Yeah, but he was stuck for the longest. They just started cleaning house after they got their ring. You know, the Claw went up there for a year, got him a ring, and then they started cleaning house. But first they had to make room. You know, they got rid of DeRozan. DeRozan and Kyle Lowry have to be the biggest playoff disappointment duo I've ever seen in my life. How many times were they in position to beat LeBron? And DeRozan literally looked like he was afraid of LeBron. He was not the same when number 6, LeBron James, was on the court with him. He did not look the same. He looked scared. And then Kyle Lowry just disappeared. I don't know where he would go. We'd have to put APBs out for him.
I think everybody needs a Jimmy Butler in their corner. Like Jimmy Butler.
You know who Jimmy Butler is? Jimmy Butler is what Steven Jackson was to the Spurs.
Yeah. I can go with that. I can go with that.
That is somebody that is going to scrap. I'm talking about scrap, loose balls, enforcer. You're not going to talk to my teammates like that. I'm finna score 2 at the same time. I don't care if the ball in my hands at the end of the game. I'm taking the shot. Like, he's a dog. And that's what Steven Jackson was.
Yeah.
I think
Indiana Pacers would have a ring if that fight never happened.
Mark, we talk about Reggie differently. We talk about Reggie differently if that fight don't happen.
Reggie Miller goes out with a ring. Ron Artest doesn't lose his mind. Because I swear that man lost all his marbles after that. He was never the same. Metal World Peace. My bad. But the Pacers won a ring that year. They were the best team in NBA. Would have been a struggle. They probably would. Who ended up winning that year? It was either Spurs or the Lakers. I don't remember the exact year, but I think it was the Lakers, the second of Kobe and Paul.
So the NFL is in the middle of their celebration. This is essentially the NFL celebration week. And for many years, nobody could touch Super Bowl week. It was a big thing. The NBA moved their trade deadline and said, fuck your Super Bowl week. We finna blow this picture every year. And the last 3 years, it's been a soap opera every year. Like, we're not even talking about, like, the big story ain't nothing about Super Bowl. Like, the fact that you got a kid, second year in the league, about to, like, on the precipice of winning a Super Bowl. We ain't talking about that. We're talking about the fact that Tubby Tubby and Mr. Dosho just got traded for one another. Like,
no, the NFL don't mind them being the story. What they tired of talking about this damn lawsuit.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
no, let them have it. No, they got it.
Yeah.
They got it. ESPN was like, well, we want to get some story. No, ain't no story here. Ain't no story.
Nobody want to talk about this.
Oh, but I mean,
No, Roger Goodell was at a press conference and they asked him, so what is your opinion on the lawsuit? Did y'all hear James Harden got traded?
Spoken like a true politician.
oh, and oh man, and you know what? We sit back and we laugh and we enjoy. But man, come on, man. I'm gonna leave the NFL alone. I've been picking on them long enough.
Let me tell you a politician way of answering that question. You say, what's going on with the lawsuit? See, the NFL, the organization that has to stay together, and that's what we plan on doing. Now, what did I just answer?
Nothing. Not nothing.
Nothing.
But you
I
know
told
what?
you, I showed you unity.
Well, you know, and a couple petty moments happened this week. This one y'all gonna need to follow me on. So a Russian skater has been caught with drugs in their system that are probably performance enhancing. Now, ice skating and performance enhancing, I don't get it. I don't understand it. It's cool. I don't understand it. But wasn't this the same country that like the Olympic Committee was like, yeah, y'all can't like compete under y'all name because y'all done cheated so much. And the moment they get to compete under their name, it's like, I don't know who y'all think y'all talking to. We gonna cheat. And they got caught again. Like they ain't even gave out the skate medal because they still trying to figure out how the fuck they got this underage kid using this drugs. But, you know, I mean.
The fact that you said probably performance enhancing. Which one is it?
I'm trying to be judicious.
Well, the part that got me stuck is you mentioned the Winter Olympics.
Like
Come on, Marlo. We gotta do more than just basketball and baseball and football. We gotta do more. We gotta expand our audience.
We do.
I ain't watched Winter Olympics. I ain't watched Winter Olympics since the Jamaican bobsledders went down and won a gold medal.
Hey y'all, in the comments, I want somebody in the comments to let me know if they have ever stayed up late night to watch curling. That's what I want to know. Because I know I ain't the only one that sat there and watched the Swedes try to win a gold medal. I ain't the only one watching curling. Y'all ain't gonna make me believe that. Somebody watching curling.
The fact that you're defending this shit, stuff, it should be evident enough.
Curling ain't nothing but a bunch of dads that was playing a game and fucked up and somehow ended up at the Olympics.
No,
don't do me like this.
Curling is that sport where cornhole came from. You ain't gotta have all you have to do is
no athletic ability. How do you practice for that? You just keep doing it over and over?
Go to the bar. You practice going to the bar.
Oh, they do it on a little board with the sand thing where you slide the little puck with your hand down the table.
Nah, you know what? After a few drinks, the bar gets slippery. So you got somebody sliding a beer from one end to the other. Somebody said, "Oh shit, we can have this in the Olympics.
Right.
We can beat everybody."
You know what, Marlo? You just torpedo the diversity on the podcast every time I bring it up.
Don't bring it up.
But you know what? You know who's happy sitting on the sidelines while the NFL is going through all their diversity stuff? The NHL. NHL is sitting over there like, it ain't nothing to see here. Ain't nothing to see here. They do not want to have that diversity conversation at all. They do not want to have that diversity conversation. And I can't say I blame them because, let's just be honest. What they gonna say? Matter of fact, speaking of NHL, my Lightning is losing again. What is going on, man? Y'all win 2 Stanley Cups, and all of a sudden y'all can't play defense. Like for real, man. I need y'all to punch somebody. This getting old. Anyway, so there was the All-Star pick'em tonight. And LeBron James had a good time chuckling at Kevin Durant as Kevin Durant had an opportunity to pick James Harden or Rudy Gobert. And he said, and I quote, well, I need some size. LeBron James is falling out. As he picked Rudy Gobert over James Harden.
I mean, honestly, what would you do? What would Jesus do? Let's go there.
So let's start with what I would do. I'm on national TV, and this dude in a petty moment scored 4 points and said he had a hand sprain and has been sitting out ever since. Y'all ain't gonna give me that mic because Troy gonna be, y'all gonna be bleep, 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 bleep. This motherfucker here that I'm not finna, I'd have been that dude, because what you're not gonna do is you're not gonna tank my team and then think it's all good. Like, you tank the team. I get the whole Kyrie thing, and we can talk about Kyrie in a minute. I get it. But come on, man, what you doing? Y'all keep telling me about professional sports. That ain't professional. Nothing about that.
A lot of crybabies. A lot of crybabies in the NBA.
First of all, I ain't gonna even. I'm not finna give crybaby a bad name. It's a lot of dudes that think they done made it that don't own shit.
So entitled.
Entitled.
And man, it is, you know, me and Marlo was having a conversation earlier, and it is difficult. I agree with you, Marlo. Now that I think it is difficult being an NBA fan, because I'm gonna bring your Orlando Magic up. Orlando Magic made a trade too.
Don't do that.
Orlando Magic is getting bowl. Apparently they think they're not playing NBA basketball, they're playing 2K.
Don't do that. I already told you my feelings. I already told you my feelings on the Orlando Magic. We're trying to keep this thing PG.
And when last time Orlando Magic won a ring?
They won the Eastern Conference ring.
That's not a ring.
So, fans, I should be fair to my friend. I should be fair to my friend. I have some animosity towards my friend because when Carmelo was like at the top of his game and he was going to the Orlando Arena playing games, my friends would post on Facebook their seats at the game. And I would be home throwing erasers going, these MFers could have called me and said, hey, Troy, Melo gonna be in town. Do you want to go? So you deserve everything you get. I hope they suck for the next 10 years.
Wish granted.
So are we talking about Knicks Melo or Hoodie Melo in Denver?
It didn't matter. It didn't matter. Like all of them, they ain't called. Like no matter where he was, they ain't called. I'm an hour. The way I drive, I'm an hour away from Orlando.
Melo was a bad boy who just couldn't do it by himself, but always tried to do it by himself. He was bad though. Don't get me wrong. He'd drop 40 on your head, but you got to score more than 40 to win an NBA game. I'm just saying.
You better believe it. Ask Mike.
Mike dropped 60, still lost the game
with an L. That crazy.
You cannot do it by yourself. Cannot and will not. But we ain't gonna get on. We ain't gonna take a trip down that lane tonight.
I'm here to tell you.
We get to talking about Mike. You Scotty ain't too far behind it.
Yeah, I mean, all right, man. So last week we didn't talk about it. We kind of left it alone. We was good on it. We was good on it, but we got to make some predictions on the Super Bowl. And it's some prop bets out there. And I'm gonna tell you the simple prop bet. Who's gonna be MVP? Marlo.
Joe Burrow.
That would include the Bengals winning.
Just opened up a whole, I wasn't even ready to get to that, and you just opened that right on up. Oh, okay, TP.
I say Von Miller gets his second Super Bowl MVP. He does.
I'm right along the line.
But he ain't gonna be guarding Chase.
I'm gonna be right on that line. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say Aaron Donald gets his first MVP.
I think Aaron Donald's gonna be doubled the whole game, and Von Miller gonna go nuts.
But for that dude, it don't matter if you double him. You need 3 people for him. He look like he eat linemen for lunch.
He is what we call a game wrecker. That's when you have a person that you can game plan against, and then you get into the game and then quickly realize that your game plan was trash. And he destroys it. He balls it up and puts it in your mouth and makes you eat it.
Remember 4 years ago when coaches was like, well, we'll just run at him? No, that was not the move. No, running at him does nothing but makes him angry. Don't do that.
What did Mike Tyson say?
Everybody got it.
Till they get hit in the mouth. Aaron Donald is a true testament of that. You can have a plan.
I think that worked both ways.
All right, Marlo. Since you opened up with the fireworks with Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow is the most sacked quarterback to ever make a Super Bowl.
Look at the team he played.
He was sacked 51 times in the regular season.
The Rams signed the Bengals Offensive Line.
That lets me know one of two things. When a quarterback gets sacked that many times, there's one of two things that is going on, or a combination of both. Either he's holding on to the ball too long, or his offensive line is trash. Or like I said, a combination of both. That O-line is not good. They are not. They played the Titans and got sacked, 9 times? A lot. That man spent more time on his back than he did standing up, and still somehow won the game.
How many touchdowns he threw that game?
He threw enough to win. So, as a organization, Los Angeles Rams, don't make the same mistake the Chiefs did and leave Joe Burrow in the game. You got to take their hearts out early and keep stomping on them, but being smart about it, not arrogant about it. You see the difference? The Chiefs got arrogant.
What they need to do? You know what they need to do? I'm going to tell you what the Rams need to do to win. It's real simple. It's real simple. The analytics dude you got on your staff, send that bitch to San Diego for a weekend. Don't call him. Don't pick up his text messages. Matter of fact, take his phone, take his computer, lock him. You know what? Y'all in LA, hire some kidnappers. Take him off somewhere. Some kidnappers. Take him off somewhere. Don't let him go nowhere. Don't let him talk to nobody. Don't let him say nothing. The analytics dude is the reason why Kansas City is not in the Super Bowl. Get your analytics dude and get him away. All right, we got that out of the way. Now, here's the other thing.
Rams have a better team. Just go play football.
Yeah. You got to overthink it. You got to overthink it. It's real simple. get to the quarterback, run the football. That's it. That's all you got to do. And Cam Akers, for the love of God.
Stop giving Cam Akers the ball, first of all.
For the love of God.
Oh, my God.
Do not fumble the football. Just
can we get some of that old school sticking for him? Just cover his whole body in it. Because
popularized by the Oakland Raiders.
Jack Tatum.
Oh my God. Listen. You know what? I'll go ahead and say it.
That man used to look like MLB bats, how they be covered in that tar shit. That's how Jack Tatum looked when he stepped on the field.
He ain't drop no camera.
He ain't drop shit. He ain't drop a person either.
Oh my
he
God.
stick right to you.
All right, so I'm starting off since Mo started Powers. I think it's 35-14. You know what? 38-14 Rams. Marlo.
Oh, you waiting for me?
Yeah, I'm ready for you.
I think it's 42-27 Cincinnati.
You think the Cincinnati? You know what? That's your prediction.
Hey, hold on.
You think the Bengals are gonna score 42 points against that Rams defense?
Absolutely.
That's why I love this podcast.
With a second-year quarterback in Jamar Chase.
Yep. He's the only receiver they got now. He ain't the only receiver they got.
Oh,
I mean, T. Higgins is good. I like T. But you think they finna score 42 points?
Yes.
31-21 Rams.
So apparently Marlo think Aaron Donald's gonna be the one to get kidnapped.
Like
Aaron Donald playing the secondary.
You got to have time to throw the ball into the secondary.
They don't need that much time to get off quick slants and hitches.
They don't throw quick slants and hitches. That's the problem.
They don't.
Joe Burrow gets sacked because they don't throw hitches and slants.
They run vertical routes. 60% of their pass plays are vertical routes.
How much of that percent do they get home?
Enough to make it to the Super Bowl. That doesn't mean they're gonna win the Super Bowl. They got there, yeah. We the best stepchilds of the AFC, and we made it. And we made it to the big game. Yay us. They Super Bowl was just getting to the Super Bowl.
No.
Oh man.
Wow. All right. I'm gonna make believers out of y'all.
But I want all the fans to know Marlo is a football fundamentalist. Like he believes in the fundamentals of football. And one of the fundamentals is pass protection. They don't have it. And
I besides Aaron Donald and Von Miller, the Rams defensive line suck.
I tell you what, you give me Von Miller and Aaron Donald, I'll take over the world. I want them two strong niggas right there. And we finna go get us a ring.
You give me Von Miller and Trent Dilfer and I'll go get a Super Bowl.
Because let me tell you something. A defensive line that can get pressure on the quarterback without blitzing is a very dangerous defensive line. Because I can rush 4 and drop 7. And with a second-year quarterback, he is going to struggle. What was happening was the Chiefs were blitzing him and getting burnt. On plays where they actually stayed back and played coverage, he looked very average.
If the Rams only rush 4, it's bombs over Baghdad.
How?
Because all you have to do is bring in your running back to chip. That's enough time to get rid of the ball.
That's your plan. Chip Aaron Donald. I've heard it all.
Yeah. Yeah, the Bucks did it.
Mr. Aaron Donald. Mr. Aaron Donald. I want no smoke. Don't at me. That's Marlo. He ain't on Twitter, but I was seeing any messages his way.
I'm on Twitter.
If I was Joe Mixon and you were my coach and you told me my job for the day was to chip Aaron Donald,
and you better do it right.
I am putting in my 2 weeks notice.
You can put it in 2 weeks. The Super Bowl over. But this week,
I think I'll have a concussion.
He gonna be CTE. He gonna be looking like Antonio Brown out here.
That's why you get paid.
You can't pay me enough to just go out there and stick my neck in front of Aaron Donald.
You ain't got to put your neck
40 times in a game.
He's already gonna be engaged. Just don't go low. Just chip him high. All you need is a second.
Look, I don't want to hit Aaron Donald at all.
How was your food? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure if the man is human. Have you seen his workout routine?
First of all, I don't want you to think that I don't think this dude is an exceptional NFL athlete. Now, exceptional would just be good. An exceptional athlete would just be good, but he's an exceptional NFL athlete. Like this, I can't think of another defensive tackle that does everything he does. Like
JJ Watt did for a while. JJ Watt did for a while.
He was not on the level of Donald.
He did.
Do it.
I think Donald has the ability to stay healthy.
JJ Watt
if JJ Watt would never have gotten hurt. If JJ Watt would have never gotten hurt, he would have been in that same conversation as best defensive player ever. Because when he was at the top of his game, he was not blockable at all. There was nothing you could do with him, pass or run. And he had the added ability of being 6'5" and could swat down any pass if he could not get to the quarterback. So that is a whole nother level. Not only could he get to the quarterback, he got to the quarterback 22 and a half times in one season.
So I got
still had 11 bat downs.
Because we are entering into what if. So and let's take Marlo's prediction aside. If Matthew Stafford wins this Super Bowl, is he a Hall of Famer?
No.
Okay, and I asked that for a reason, because I'm hearing all this craziness that, he's a Hall of Famer. Here's my opinion on Matthew Stafford. You cannot be a Hall of Famer if you play in a division where you never beat the dude. I have this thing about Hall of Famers. I feel like John Lynch is a Fugazi Hall of Famer because he wasn't the best safety in his career. So the fact that he didn't beat Aaron Rodgers makes it very different.
Matthew Stafford was up in Detroit losing to Jake Cutler.
Why don't you just drain it out?
Because it don't just drain out.
I think, and again, like I said, if you don't beat the dude, and like you said, if he can't beat Jake Cutler, if he can't beat Aaron Rodgers, go into another division where you got Mighty Mouse, porn star Jimmy. I can't give you credit for that. Like, I can't.
And Russ?
Oh, we're going to start on Russ.
Well, first of all,
Russ is a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
I'm tired of people telling me about Russ.
He's further up on the list of Hall of Famers over Matthew Stafford, though. It ain't about what you did 1 year.
I'm talking about the entirety of his career. I'm not counting this year. This year, I'm not. The entirety of his career.
The entirety of his career, he's been extremely mediocre.
Which
Very
one? Matthew
talented.
Stafford?
Yeah, Stafford. He was very talented. We could see it.
Man, Matthew Stafford was the biggest nut up. He nutted up more in big games than any other elite quarterback, supposed to be elite quarterback in the game.
When we say big games, we mean games that
Games
had
that matter.
playoff implications.
Exactly.
Man put up numbers though. He put up numbers.
Oh yeah, he
Calvin
put up
Johnson broke
numbers.
the record with him as his quarterback.
Jameis
But I
Winston
mean, I
threw
could be
for
a pretty decent
30
quarterback if I had
touchdowns.
somebody that was 6'5", ran a 4.3, and just throw it up. I'd probably give me about 10, 15 touchdowns. Shit, put me out there.
Yeah.
Give me Calvin.
I'm just saying.
But he
Jameis
couldn't
Winston.
win. He couldn't win nothing with that. The Rams are just a different organization. The Lions don't care about winning. They say they do, but here we are in year 80 of the franchise, and we still have no championship. Might be longer than that shit. But Lions been around since 1920 something, right? 100 years. No Super Bowl. Good job, Detroit.
Well, so I sent everybody a story earlier this week, and it happened to coincide with another podcaster that's on Spotify. And it's interesting because there's levels to this shit, and your level determines what you get away with. And so I'll go ahead and let y'all know what I'm talking about. Joe Rogan has notoriously been a anti-vaxxer conspiracy. I don't want to say he comes up with conspiracies, but he puts the conspiracies on his show and promotes the conspiracies. And there are a group of people that have a problem with him doing that. And he kept blowing them off and blowing them off. So here's what happened. When you get to a certain level and people ask you nicely to do something and you keep blowing them off, they get mad. And there are certain groups that was like, okay, since you not going to do right, we're going to cancel you. So out of nowhere was a mixtape of Joe Rogan saying the N-word over and over and over again. Joe Rogan apologized and, did the whole come line like, you shouldn't ever use the word and blah, blah, blah. And that's great and fine, but this is Fat Mouth Sports and we don't give a shit about that. We'll give a shit about the fact that your wife is the reason for knocking the boots. And you're raising a biracial child. Because Dino, if I'm not mistaken, is no longer with us. So, never mind that you're raising a biracial child using this word, and he's using the ER word. To be clear, he's using the ER word.
Yeah.
I got some issues. I'll
let
y'all talk about it.
On behalf of all the black folks, apology not accepted. Fuck your apology.
I'm gonna take it a little bit further than that. On behalf of me and mine, that apology needs to be exactly shoved where your mouth should be. I don't want to cuss, y'all. I'm trying to frame this in the most. Yeah, but this motherfucker tried the system. He literally tried the system. That company line foolishness that they think they can take to smooth over people and then go back to still making whatever goobs and gobs of money that they were making for saying the same foolishness that these Donald Trump folks out here running behind and cheering and doing all this other foolishness. Man, eat that. Eat that, shit it out, and then eat it again, because that's exactly what it's worth.
Fuck your apology. Your apology ain't sincere. When people make these type of apologies, they're not sincere. They're making these apologies because their PR director is telling them that they need to give a verbal apology. But we don't give a fuck. You said what you said. You let us know who you are. And my mama taught me to
If
read
if
people
they
the
show
first
you who
time.
they if
Yeah,
they show you
believe.
who they are, believe them the first time.
Yeah, when people show you who they are, you believe them the first time.
And this is what's disturbing more so than anything else is this is Spotify's golden goose. When I'll just go ahead and say it, if it had not been for Joe Budden, we really wouldn't know what this podcast thing could do. And Joe didn't get $100 million. And I'm almost certain that the reason Joe left Spotify was because he heard in the winds that there was $100 million deal in the works and it wasn't you. So, content creators have a very difficult job. We have to come up with ways to introduce you to our personality on subject matters that we like talking about. And when creators, I don't want to just make it podcasters and YouTubers and all that. Like NDRE, one of my favorite artists, went on Good Morning America and a couple other shows, and basically CNN. I'm sorry, she went on CNN first. That's where I saw her, and explained to the world that okay, Joe Rogan was one thing, but another thing is that artists are getting 1/8 of a penny for each one of their streams. I'm gonna let you think about that for a second. 1/8 of a penny, and Joe Rogan is making $100 million. There's a serious disconnect there. But I ain't gonna dive too deep into that because that could lead to a whole nother podcast. Every week we have our little sayings, if you got a fuck you person of the week, we like to let the fans know how we feel because it's Fat Mouth Sports. It's where the fan have a voice, and we like to say how we feel. So, Marlo, I'll let you go first this week.
I went first last time.
Well, fine. TP, you want to go first?
Sit up. Welcome to TP's Corner. I would like to address Roger Goodell this week. This is supposed to be the celebration of the NFL. This week above any other week. Maybe Hall of Fame week. You need to show the people that you actually care about the NFL and not just a paycheck. Because where it's headed now is gonna be some heads are gonna roll. If these allegations come out to be true, what are you gonna do? But more importantly, what else is being done for the safety of the players? Because there's still studies being done on CTE and concussion protocols and everything like that. But from what I've seen, they don't really follow the concussion protocol every time. We have players fighting in the clubs. What are you going to do about that? Is it acceptable? No. But we seen what you did to Ray Rice. But yeah, we seen what Ray Rice did to his woman and the repercussions that came from it. But what is Roger Goodell doing about these allegations of cheating, sexual assault, those type of issues? People of the higher power. What are you going to do to them? Because we've seen what you do to our black folks. So hold people accountable because that's your job, right? I'm good.
So this is, we didn't even touch on this, and it was on purpose. It was literally on purpose. Major League Baseball, y'all in the middle of a strike. And Major League Baseball players, y'all are in the middle of a strike. And I get it. Initially, it was about player empowerment. But when player empowerment hit the road with player money, it was no longer about player empowerment. So I got to ask, what is this strike about? If we're on the verge of missing opening day, missing spring training, and I live in an area, Central Florida, where spring training is very vital to our economy. So if we're going to miss this, it has to be something more tangible than money. You cannot make this about money because your viewership lowers every day. You are not even in the relevant conversation. A major league sport is on strike in the off season and nobody's talking about it. A major league sport which spurs different mini ecosystems, mini eco economies. You're not. I don't want to get angry. It's almost as if you're tone deaf, both the players and the owners. Y'all got to figure this out. It's February. March is right around the corner. After Valentine's Day, as a Central Florida resident, you see the minor league players come into the airports. You see them with the bright eyes. Hey, I might have an opportunity. You see that. You see all of those things. But I'm not seeing the movement. And it may be a negotiation ploy. Hey, we'll get up to the last minute. But you do realize that as you do that, you're losing fans. Like, baseball is the sport that my grandfather used to listen to on the porch. And he would listen to the Atlanta Braves because that was the closest team to St. Pete, Florida. Baseball is the sport that my dad loved. When he loved those horrible Devil Rays. He loved that because there was a history behind that sport. And here we are dealing with a strike, not over anything tangible. And I mean, I'm not wanting to count another man's money, but if y'all gonna make Susie, who works at a concession stand at the Philly Stadium, not be able to get that extra money that might pay a bill because you arguing over a few $100,000, my guy, maybe they should just cancel your sport. I'm done.
Well, that was insightful. I'm glad somebody mentioned Major League Baseball because they really haven't been relevant in the last. When was World Series over? So they got a little shine there. You turn the light on. Let's see if the roaches go to scurrying. But I wanted to take a moment and to touch on this undercurrent that's going on in college football. This undercurrent that I think the big boys are getting scared. They're nervous now because you're having athletes, children come of age and not attend these major universities. They are choosing a different route. They're choosing to be around people that look like them, that have their interests more so at heart than if you were to go to another university that you couldn't attend 30, 40 years ago. These kids are a lot more socially conscious now, and they're making decisions to be nurtured and fed by somebody that look like them, that care a little more about them. And I think that over the next 5 years, you're going to see a talent shift where the HBCUs and the smaller universities are not only are going to compete more on the football field, but they're going to compete as far as the bottom line. If you look at where Jackson State was 3 years ago, to before the hire, to where they are now, as far as revenue, Dion has made his money in spades. He has done everything and then some that he built that he would do. Not only is he starting a HBCU combine where NFL scouts and coaches come specifically to showcase HBCU talents, but now these kids are going higher in the draft. Now, if this trend continues, you're going to see more and more 4, 5, 3 stars are going there now anyway. But 4 and 5 stars, they don't have to go to these other schools. Not only can they compete on the field, but they can compete with the checkbook. They can get paid. Money is an equalizer. So you watch it. Watch what I tell you. This undercurrent that's going on right now. It's just a little trickle right now, but it's going to be a full out river. Watch what I tell you. And that's all I gotta say. Stay woke, y'all.
I like it. I like it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for coming out. But you know what you can do to support this pod? Hit that like button, subscribe, turn your notifications on, because we like to chop up the videos and send you clips out during the week so you get to enjoy yourself. So again, thank you for coming out. I'm Troy, TP, Marlo, Gathering the Old Men Podcast. We out.